All right, let's jump right into a deep dive. Today, we're cracking open Genesis chapter 36.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission is to unpack the incredibly detailed information presented here and figure out exactly what it reveals about a key group in the biblical story.
Exactly. This chapter is essentially the foundational document for understanding Esau and the people who came from him, the Edomites.
Right.
It shows us not just who they were, but how they became a distinct entity, separate from the line of Jacob.
And that separation is actually where the chapter kicks off, isn't it?
Okay.
We know Esau and Jacob are brothers, but Genesis 6 immediately clarifies something crucial about Esau's identity.
It does very directly. The text tells us this is the account of Esau, that is Edom.
Ah.
Right there, it establishes that Esau is Edom. The person is the origin of the nation.
And it explains why these two brothers, whose paths had already, diverged in pretty significant ways, finally made a complete geographical separation.
Yes, and the reason given is remarkably practical, actually. Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, everyone in his household, his livestock, all his stuff he'd gathered in Canaan, and moved away from Jacob. The text says their possessions were too great for them to dwell together.
Right.
The land of their sojournings could not support them because of their livestock. It was basically an economic necessity.
So their success, in a way, kind of forced them apart physically. And where did Esau go to set up his home base?
He moved and settled specifically in the hill country of Seir.
Seir, okay.
And the chapter really hammers this point home, repeating, so Esau, that is, Edom, settled in the hill country of Seir. This is the account of Esau, the father of the Edomites in the hill country of Seir.
Yeah.
It links the man, the name Edom, the people, and the land together right at the start.
Okay, so once he's settled, the chapter then gives us the human building blocks of this emerging nation, the family tree. And it is dense with names.
Oh, it is.
Who are the key wives mentioned?
Well, we're introduced to three. Ada, daughter of Elon the Hittite. Then Oholibama, who was the daughter of Anna and granddaughter of Zibeon the Hivite. And Basemath, who was Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebaioth. And notice already, you've got women from different backgrounds, Hittite, Hivite, Ishmaelite, showing some mixing right from the get-go.
Interesting. And the sons born to Esau through these wives.
Okay, so Ada bore Eliphaz.
Right.
Basemath bore Reuel.
Okay.
And Oholibama bore Jush, Jalem, and Korah. And the text specifically notes these sons were born in the land of Canaan.
Ah, so before the big move to Seir?
Exactly. They were part of the family unit before that relocation happened.
Gotcha. And the lineage doesn't just stop at his sons. It goes down to the grandsons who would become, significant lines within Edom. Tell us about Eliphaz's sons.
Right. So Eliphaz had 5 sons listed: Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. These names, they'll pop up again later.
And there's an important detail about Eliphaz and a concubine, isn't there?
Yes, good point. Eliphaz had a concubine named Timnah, and Timnah bore him a son, Amalek.
Amalek, okay.
This makes Amalek a grandson of Esau through Eliphaz, who was Ada's son. And this is a really crucial lineage, especially given the later history between Israel and the Amalekites.
Definitely rings a bell. How about Reuel's sons? The ones from Basemath.
Yeah, Reuel's sons are listed as Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These are the grandsons of Esau via Basemath.
Okay. And just to keep it straight, Oholibama's sons to Esau were Jush, Jalem, and Korah.
Correct. Those are the direct sons listed from that particular line.
So we have the family foundation laid out. The text then transitions from just listing individuals to describing their structure and leadership. It talks about chiefs. What does this tell us about their early organization in Edom?
Well, it shows an initial leadership structure, probably based on clan or tribal lines, stemming directly from Esau's descendants.
What?
The text lists chiefs who emerged from Eliphaz's line: chiefs Teman, Omar, Zepho, Kenaz, Korah, Gatam, and Amalek. These are specifically identified as chiefs from Eliphaz in the land of Edom.
So direct descendants becoming leaders.
And from Reuel's line.
Same pattern.
Yeah.
The sons of Reuel also became chiefs. Chiefs Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These are called the chiefs descended from Reuel.
And Oholibama's sons as well.
Yes. Chiefs Jush, Jalem, and Korah are listed from her sons. And the chapter kind of summarizes this whole section by stating, these were the sons of Esau, that is Edom, and these were their chiefs.
Okay.
It's like the first layer of how this group organized itself in their new territory.
Now, that new territory, the hill country of Seir, it wasn't empty when Esau arrived, was it? The chapter makes a point of including information about the people already living there.
Right. No, it wasn't empty. And this is a really important detail, sometimes overlooked if you just focus on Esau's line. The text dedicates a whole section to the Horites.
The Horites.
Yeah, the inhabitants who were already in Seir. So who are the prominent Horites listed then?
The list starts with Seir the Horite himself and his sons. Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dison, Ezer, and Dishan.
Okay.
And these guys are explicitly identified as Horite chiefs in the land of Edom.
And the Horite lineage is also detailed, right? It goes down further.
It does. We get the sons of Lotan, Hori, and Hammam, and importantly, Timnah is mentioned as Lotan's sister.
Wait, Timnah. The same Timnah who was Eliphaz's concubine.
That's the one. So this connection shows an integration, a link between Esau's line and the native Horite population, even at the level of key family members.
Wow, okay.
And we also see the sons of Shobal, Alvin, Manahath, Ebal, Shepher, Onam, and the sons of Zibeon, Aya, and Anna.
And there's that unique, almost quirky detail about Anna, son of Zibeon. Text pauses for that.
Yeah, it does. It pauses the genealogy to tell us this specific. Anna is the one who found the hot springs in the desert when he was grazing the donkeys of his father, Zibeon. It's like a little flash of lived experience tucked into the list. Kind of grounds it.
And Anna's children are listed too, which creates another link back to Esau's family, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The children of Anna are Dison and Oholibama, daughter of Anna.
Oholibama, Esau's wife.
Exactly. This confirms that Esau's wife, Oholibama, was a Horite, daughter of one of the Horite chiefs, Anna, and granddaughter of another, Zibeon. So there was significant intermarriage and blending of these populations.
So it wasn't just like Esau's group moving in and taking over. It seems more like settling alongside and integrating with the people already there.
That's certainly what the text strongly implies through these genealogies. It wasn't necessarily a simple conquest narrative, at least not as presented here.
Right.
And the Horite lines continue with the sons of Dison, Hemdan, Eshban, Ithran, Karen, sons of Ezer, Bilhan, Zavan, Achan, and sons of Dishan, Uz, Aran. And the list of Horite chiefs is reiterated, named according to their divisions in Seir.
Okay, so we've seen the family tree, the initial clan-based chiefs from Esau, and the original Horite inhabitants and their chiefs, with hints of integration. But then the chapter shows an evolution, right, in Edom's political structure.
It does. It moves on to introduce kingship, a different level of centralized authority. And it gives us a very specific historical anchor point stating these were the kings who reigned in Edom before any Israelite king reigned.
That's a really significant point, framing it that way.
It is. It sets Edom up as having established a monarchy prior to Israel doing the same.
Let's walk through that list of early Edomite kings then.
Okay, the sequence begins with Bela, son of Beor, reigning from the city of Dinhaba.
Yeah.
He was succeeded by Jobab, son of Zerah, from Bozrah. After Jobab, Husham from the land of the Temanites took the throne. Then came Hadad, son of Bedad. He's notable for defeating Midian in the country of Moab. His city was Avith.
That's the first Hadad in the list.
Yes. First one, after that Hadad died, Samlah from Masrekah became king. Then Shaul from Rehoboth on the river. He was followed by Baal-Hanan, son of Akbor. And finally, the list concludes with a second king named Hadad.
Another Hadad.
Yep. His city was Pau, and his wife is named, which is an interesting detail, Mehetabel, daughter of Matred, daughter of Mizahab, adds another layer of detail just for this specific king.
So Edom had a series of kings ruling from specific cities, demonstrating a level of, well, state organization before the Israelite monarchy even got going.
Seems so.
The chapter then wraps up with one more list of chiefs. What's that about?
It provides a final list, again using the term chiefs, but this time it seems they're classified maybe by the regions or settlements they occupied.
Geographically maybe.
Perhaps. The names are Timnah, Alva, Japheth, Aholibama, Elah, Pinyan Kenaz, Teman, Midzar, Magdiel, and Iram.
And these are explicitly identified as chiefs of Edom according to their settlements.
Precisely. It states these were the chiefs of Edom according to their settlements in the land they occupied. It feels like a summary or maybe a snapshot of a different kind of organization, maybe later on. And it ends by just reiterating that core identity. This was Esau, the father of the Edomites. Brings it full circle.
Okay, so you've just taken us through a chapter that is, let's be honest, a lot of names and lists.
It really is.
Family trees, 2 different sets of chiefs, a list of kings, even another whole group of people, the Horites. Why would the biblical text dedicate an entire chapter filled with this level of granular detail about Esau, his descendants, the locals, their leaders? Why this elaborate blueprint for the nation of Edom? What's the point for the listener, for us?
Yeah, that's the core question, isn't it? It's so easy to just kind of skim over these lists, maybe your eyes glaze over a bit.
A little bit.
But the fact that they're here in such meticulous detail, that tells us something significant.
Right.
This chapter isn't just random trivia. It's providing a really comprehensive picture of how the nation of Edom was formed.
It gives them substance, more than just the other guys.
Exactly. It shows they weren't just some generic group living next door. It lays out their specific lineage tied right back to Esau, a key figure in the patriarchal narratives.
Mm-hmm.
It details their internal organization, showing that shift from, like, clan-based chiefdoms rooted in family lines.
Right, like the sons of Eliphaz becoming chief.
There is a centralized monarchy with a clear succession of kings, and specifically noting its existence before Israel's. That's a statement in itself.
And the inclusion of the Horites. What does that add to the picture?
Oh, that's crucial. It shows that Edomite identity wasn't purely defined by just descent from Esau. It was also shaped by the land they settled in and the people they integrated with.
Like Oholibama.
Exactly. Oholibama, being a Horite chief's daughter, marrying Esau, shows this blending wasn't minor. It was happening right at the top levels of their emerging society. It tells us Edom was, a composite people, not just purely Israelite relative in origin.
So it's building this really three-dimensional picture of a neighboring nation. It's not just Esau went that way, Jacob went this way.
Yes. It establishes Edom's legitimacy as a distinct, organized political entity. They have their own history, their own land, their own lineage, their own evolving leadership structure.
Right.
So for the Israelite audience reading this later, or for you reading it today, knowing this level of detail about Edom means that whenever they appear later in the narrative as rivals, sometimes allies, or just geographically relevant neighbors, you understand they are a fully formed nation with depth and complexity.
Not just a placeholder group.
Not at all. It provides a central context for all those future interactions. It roots them firmly in the world of the text.
It absolutely does. It grounds their existence and their relationship with Israel in a shared, albeit, pretty complex history.
Yeah, complex is a good word for it.
Okay, so thinking about all that detail, given the meticulous way this chapter lays out the chiefs and kings of Edom, what does this suggest about the significance of lineage and political organization? How a group structures itself in defining a people and their place in the world, even for a people who aren't the main focus of the overall story.